How's it going, guys? My name is Maikya and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be doing another theory related to the Galar region and the origins of some mythology sorts of things. So really interesting theory today, guys. So I hope you guys stick around for it. Sorry for the last video being a bit off on the quality of the audio. My music for some reason didn't get put down on the audio volume level, so my bad for that. But anyway, today we're going to be going through this. Be sure to leave a like if you guys are hyped for this, and let's just get straight into the theory. Now here we have a tweet that I flagged up quite a while ago from Nintendo Kuso. So basically this tweet kind of fascinated me just a little bit and I needed a bit more information on this kind of topic before discussing it. So I haven't discussed it till now, but now we're going to go through it and I'm going to talk about it a little bit here. So basically he was going on about the possibility of them using older drawings in the new games and why. So you can see here we've got a screenshot of the Sinner region, the cave in, I can't remember what the town's called, but it's that old town where the old lady is, Cynthia's grandmother. And there's obviously the three legendary Pokemon all kind of shown going around this like red chain thing. So that's quite interesting. But then obviously in the new games we've seen right here on the hill, there's the monster with these little people or creatures all around it. So he's speculating that there might be some kind of sacrifice to do with this new legendary, this giant of some sort, some variety. Now I'm going to obviously go into this a bit further and we're going to discuss it now. So let's have a look at the hill. So as we can see, the hill, like I said, has these little people and then this like electric and fiery dragon thing monster. It looks like a dragon to me. It's kind of like a abstracted dragon, and I'll get to why in a moment. But basically these people look like they've been knocked down or killed. Creatures, there looks like there's a little cattle sort of thing there, some people from the village, and obviously there's a bit of history behind it, a bit of deep history. So let's get into the possibilities of what this could be if this was a dragon and why. So I'm going to get into a bit of mythology now and tell you a bit about certain things. So let's just get straight into that. So on the Galar map region, I've brought this up several times, there's obviously the Dragon City to the north and the Steel City to the south. Now the argument is that basically the dragon is representing the Dragon City, and it's kind of, the little abstraction on the hills in between these two, and the steel is representative of a hero or a sword or something like that. Now I thought about this for a minute and I was like, hang on a minute, where's there been a dragon in history along with some steel, some knight of some sort? So I kind of went into it a little bit more and I found some information about Saint George. Now, St. George was apparently a first crusader. He was in the Bible a lot. He's obviously the patron saint of England, which really links well to this theory because he's literally our patron saint, and this region is based on England, obviously. So let's talk a bit more about St. George. So there's a lot of information to take in, but we don't really need to read much of this one because obviously we're going to go into a bit more in a bit into the story of St. George. But initially, it says here he's basically the patron saint of England, and he obviously created the cross, the red cross over the white background because that was on his shield or something, I believe. And the interesting thing is that he goes back as far as time can tell, so he goes back a long way. Like the legend of him goes back a very long time, like early Bible times. So it's very much kind of like a, it's an important kind of information that regards to the mythology and the kind of connections and history of the Galar region. They're taking a lot of influences from British history, British culture, and putting it into these games. So obviously this is going to link in some ways. Now let's get into the story of him and I'll explain how this links, and you'll see how it links quite well. So let's just get straight into that. Now here is the story of St. George and the dragon. So basically there was apparently a dragon near a pond spewing toxic fumes everywhere. Now the townspeople had to sacrifice 2 sheep daily, then eventually they had to sacrifice a man and a sheep, and then finally had to sacrifice their own children and youths chosen by a lottery. So they basically put names into a hat and then they take them out, that sort of thing, and choose which children went to be sacrificed to the dragon, which looks very similar, keep in mind, to this legendary thing, this kind of creature on the hill with all these people scattered around as if it's a sacrifice. So that's quite interesting. Now this time, the lot fell on the king's daughter. The king offered all his gold and silver for his daughter to be spared, but the people refused. So she's sent out to the lake dressed as a bride to be fed to the dragon. Now St. George arrived just around this time, and the princess tried to send him away, and he stayed. And basically, whilst they were talking, the dragon came out from its hiding spot near the pond, and St. George charged on it with a lance, which is very interesting because you've got the sword and the shield, but the lance is another medieval or pre-medieval weapon, which has obviously been explained in other things, and there's a lot of kind of, there's a lot of references to lances with Scorbunny. People were arguing that he could be a lancer, that sort of thing, and a lot of sport, medieval sport, that sort of thing. But he comes out with a lance and he takes down the dragon, and he seriously wounds him. He then throws the princess a girdle, which is sort of like a bit that straps around. It's sort of like a collar, but not really. It's sort of like, just a strap part of the saddle to attach to the dragon. He throws that to the princess and she straps him. They take him back to the town, to the people, and the dragon is killed. Now the interesting thing is that George killed the dragon with a sword, so obviously Pokemon sword. Shield, I'm not really sure how that links, to be honest with you. That's kind of a bit of a push, but apparently he had a shield with the English cross on it, which is quite interesting. And he was also riding a white horse on horseback, which is kind of to do with St. George. And that's obviously where we get our horse, I believe, or the unicorn in some ways on our crest of arms, if I'm correct. I might be wrong, but I think that's what it's from. So that obviously links in a little bit to the thing I was discussing in the last video, where we have this metallic horse, which could be based on the Trojan horse, but could also be based on this other horse against the dragon, and the dragon's obviously disrupting, and the horse and dragon are fighting it out, and obviously our dragon is the one that George killed. So could it be that our champion or our player becomes the George of the region, saving the princess, saving the people from, mass destruction? Who knows? It could be a possibility. Now, another interesting thing I've found is that where St. George killed the dragon, the king built a sort of church with an altar, and from the altar sprung a spring of water that apparently had healing properties. This water cured all disease. Now, here's the interesting thing. So we obviously discussed this recently, where we had this, comparison between Kalos and Galar, and how Kalos means beautiful well, and Galar is disease. Now, I'm going to go back to that and say, obviously, the translation in Irish language is from Galar, it goes to disease. So it could be that the act of George killing the dragon makes water, or makes the world cured of disease. Very interesting possibility, very interesting speculation. Now, that's mostly what I've got for this theory. Let me know what you guys think about this. Be sure to let me know if I'm wrong or if I'm correct, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on this theory. I might go into a bit more detail if I find any more information regarding it, obviously. And yeah, so that's it, really. Be sure to leave a like to let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. There'll be more theories like this, plenty more in the future. There's more to come, of course. And be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you guys very soon. So I'll see you later.